that can only mean one thing. Footy's back. Ba-da-da, ba-ba, ba-da-da, ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. This is Footy Unfilterated. I'm your host, James Clements. You can also see me on NBA Australia, Jim does Supercoach, whatever else you like listening to. So NFL Australia, we'll do that off-season show one day. With me, on the other side of this here screen, is everyone's favourite up and about, not so much this week. He's splitting loyalties, I think, with his hat and his hoodie today. It's everyone's favourite Essendon
Couldn't
fan.
decide.
It's Jez. Jez, what's cracking?
As you can see, I've got all the American tourist vibes going on. So, like yourself, splitting it between the Heat and the Sonics. But, we do what we do. What a interesting round of footy it was.
It really was.
No, I'm going good. I started a new job yesterday. So, vibes are very chill and awesome. So, it's new Jez from here on in.
I like this. New Jez, new Dons.
New Jez. Maybe not new Dons, but new Jez. We'll go. Let's stick with something we can fix, and that's Jez for now, because I think the Dons might be done.
Well, the cool thing is Carlton, Essendon, and Richmond now all have an equal share of bottom of the ladder, so we're all laughing.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, round 8 is done. Footy is fully back. We're a third of the way through the season, which I love saying and I hate saying, because then it just makes me that little bit sad. But anyway, this is why you've got to appreciate it while we've got it. So we'll wrap up very quickly round 8. It was a chaotic week. We'll do some weekly awards. We'll do some year nars. We'll do the round 9 picks and previews. And plenty to dig into. So that's what we're going to do. It's footy without the bull. It's footy unfilterated. Let's go! All right, Jez. That is the Ramshackle Army who are playing this Saturday night at the Bendigo Hotel in Collingwood. I'll be there before and then after Ramshackle. I'm clearly making sure to miss them entirely, but it's also because I got to go see Deftones. So,
Wow.
Should be
you got to get your priorities straight, don't you?
I do, don't I? I'll tell you what. Apparently, Deftones are big with the kids, and it weirds me out. I do love it.
I've heard that.
So that's exactly what happened to me this weekend. So Friday and Saturday night, I saw Super Heaven, and it turns out they're really big with the kids. And I'm like, this makes no sense, because they're a band that I was into like 12, 13 years ago, and they're all older dudes from Philly. Turns out the kids just love them anyway. I'm like, there is hope for this generation. I like this. The sheer amount of energy and just fandom that the kids had. You went to a show on Thursday. I'm sure you can relate, right? Like how much passion the kids went into it with. There was mosh pits. There was just heaps of just kids flying. Everyone like, this rocks. I've gone to way too many bands of late in the last, I don't know, what did I move home 7 years ago now? And you just go sort of see the bands you know and like, even if they're bands that are kind of newish. I think Dear Seattle or somebody. It's still not rambunctious youths causing all sorts of havoc. No. And that's what this was for Super Heaven. I was delighted. So I think Deftones is going to be a bit of an eye-opener as well. But how was your show, Jez?
Yeah, well, I went with my daughter Ruby. I had to be her guardian because she's under 18, and we were in a licensed venue, the Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, which is an awesome little bar. I hadn't really been to somewhere like that. And we had Lockjaw, who are a Melbourne band. Slow Burn are actually from our neck of the woods, Ballarat, nice. And they were really cool. And this is hardcore metal. I'll probably get in trouble for saying that wrong. Hopefully Ruby didn't hear me, but they're actually really good. And then their headline act was Timepiece, who were another really good act. But I sat on a stool in front of the bar because I had to be in the same room with Ruby. I had planned to sit on the other side of the bar and watch the footy, but the guy said, no, you have to stay near her. And he kept looking at me while they're all in the mosh pit, and I just went, I'm not going in there, bud. I don't care. I'm not going in there. But it was actually a really cool night. 3 really good bands. Met a couple of the guys from Lockjaw afterwards, and they're really cool dudes. I actually had a really good time. They had good beer. They got good beers on tap down there, so that made it all the more enjoyable. And then we were off home by about 9:20, which is great for an old fellow like me. So I can't do it like I used to, Jim.
It also meant, I think the same thing with Super Heaven, they're weirdly early shows, both the Friday and the Saturday. So I managed to actually watch large swathes of the footy, which was good. So, hey, let's talk about footy. That's a good one.
Let's do it, Jim.
Hey, draws. They happen. And then, I mean, you know me. I love talking about AFL media bingo. Spin the wheel. Where's it all going to land this week? And now it's like, should we have draws or not? And it's like, no one actually cares about this. Like, it's not a problem, really. If anything, it's a fun sort of quirk that it throws like a spanner in the wrench into the ladder towards the end of the seasons. And I don't care, really, one way or the other. This is a bit of a spoiler alert for Year Nars later on, but yeah, there was a draw. So anyway, good job, AFL media. Oh, should we have draws? Yep. Draws are bad. The other big news this week was Whiteboard Gate. That was pretty funny. Chris Fagan going off his head. Someone illegally took a photo of all the stuff that we had written on this board. It's like it's an open facility that was half funded by taxpayers, so you have to open it to the community, you idiot. And you didn't clean your whiteboards before you had a bunch of community members in there using it. Chris Fagan, you big dummy. So I enjoyed that. Someone illegally taking photos of him illegally. It's like, mate, we're we're in a community shared space. Shut up. Obviously, the big one though was that Jackson Pryor's partner was listed as a strength. Now, forgive me, Jez. It took me a couple of readings to go, so what's the problem?
I reckon if you had your whiteboard in the background, you probably have my wife listed as my strength and vice versa.
Not weakness. Not weakness.
Definitely not. I know a lot of men who would happily put their hand up to say, yep, she is.
I just found this a bit weird. It's like, yeah.
I couldn't actually believe how much airtime this got. It's out of control. And even the fact that they're still talking about it today. They're still carrying on about a whiteboard.
So it's either in reference to her being awesome, her being a smoke show, her being way better than him. That's all fine. But yes, I get it. We shouldn't be commenting in the professional stand. Blah, blah, blah. It's fine. But wow, the funeral.
What would they prefer that they said partner Bronte weakness?
If they had of, we'd be in a that would make more footy sense where you can trash talk him about his partner, right? And that's what I first thought when I was reading. I'm like, but it's strength. What? I'm confused. So anyway, good stuff, everybody. We've done ourselves proud once again in AFL. Also, more arc chaos. That was a good one. Saligo's goal. We're not going to talk about that, says the AFL.
Get rid of it.
Jared Waitley had a couple of thoughts.
Just get rid of it.
I think this is very bad, Jez. And if you're going to use it wrong, if you give people the power, they will misuse it, and we should sack them all. It's like, Jesus, Jared. For a bloke who gets a free trip to go cover a game he doesn't even like or watch every year at the Super Bowl, this is pretty remarkably tough stuff from you. So that was a bit weird.
Hard-hitting journalism right there.
He also went in hard on Michael Voss this week, which is pretty funny. And the Carlton schmozzler, it's like, this is the same bloke who 3 weeks ago, the hysteria around Carlton is too much. It's like, dude, you're now just... So were you wrong then? I think you were wrong then, weren't you, Jared? Yeah, it happens, mate.
His carer must have given him the wrong pills.
I feel like he was Robbo's carer for a bit, and it's like, now how the turns have tabled. Anyway, whatever.
Gary Lyons, his carer, which is always a worry.
Jesus. There's a bloke who just makes up words on the spot, which usually...
Watch out, Jared's wife.
Jesus.
Or husband. I'm not... either way is fine.
There's no aspersions here.
No.
But yes. 2 R's in his name and he just makes up words. I think you can do that apparently. The Blues copped a $75,000 fine today as well. They're found to have brought the game into disrepute. So should the AFL fine itself every 2 weeks for all the dumb stuff they keep doing, Jez? I just keep donating to Headspace, the AFL's mental health partner, because
it'd be the most well-funded charity in the history of charities.
Every gaff, every dumb, stupid thing they
might
do.
Get a job there so that I can profit off the non-profit. Isn't that how it works?
Yep. So basically, they were sort of found to have not checked every single box once they realised something was kind of awry and hadn't taken him off earlier. And you're like, oh, all right.
I think I said it at the time, and I'll say it again. I don't think that this is something that needed to have a set person to blame. It's a really crap circumstance, and I don't know how any of this is helping Elijah Hollins and his current situation.
So now they've also mandated that every team needs a full-time psychologist. So that's good. That'll fix it.
Which I don't. Hey, I think.
I was surprised they don't already.
It's a reaction. Yeah, it's a reaction, which is unlike the AFL to be reactionary. But at least it's actually that. If that's the positive that comes out of it, and like you said, I can't believe they don't already have them. Like, you're talking about organisations that are basically made up of and historically made up of young men. Why wouldn't they already have them? But anyway, here we are.
Yeah. So I guess that's fixed it. Anyway, and speaking of fixing things, we got another homophobic slur. So, great job.
Really. It's just dumb at this point. Like
you really have to be as dumb as a bag of bricks at this point, don't you?
You really do. And I don't know, it's hard when it's it's not hard when it's in the heat of the moment. We had the same thing was said back in the 90s with racial vilification, and it took some pretty brave fellas like Nicky Winmar and Michael Long to stand up against the system as it was at the time. And even today, we're still copping racial slurs on, Facebook and all that sort of stuff, which is disgraceful. But how long until these? It's got to be. I don't know. I think they should just make it a 10-week penalty flat. I don't not often have a. I'm a little bit more of a horse, sort of judge each case on its merits. When you're talking about, he whacked him, but he punched him in the stuff, that sort of stuff's different. When it comes to this, when it comes to discrimination of either a racial, what's the word I'm looking for, Jim, of race or of ethnicity, of religion, any of that sort of stuff, of sexuality, all that sort of stuff. Just make it an automatic 10-week ban, first offence. Second, you're done for the year.
And there we go. The dog agrees. Like, it's absolutely.
The dog's just gone, yep. Stop calling me a dickhead, please. But
it tracks. It absolutely tracks.
I have changed my dog's name to that, by the way. But anyway,
nice.
That's another story for another day.
There you go. I think that's just now. What's the term? So, it's not canine abuse. It's mental canine abuse, maybe 10 weeks. Off you go.
Sorry. I'm out.
Done. Few injuries floating around. Sam Layla sort of hurt his Achilles, but it's not a tear, so he doesn't need surgery. And you're like, that's good. I'm like, that sounds like me. So I assume he'll be like 12 months later.
It's still going to be
12 months later.
I was going to say it's still going to be quite a while.
But as a fellow, high performance athlete, mine did just take that a little bit longer. So, but that's a bit of a kick in the guts for Richmond. You looked at their injury list. I think they were down 17 players already, and they lost Dion Prestia to a hammy as well. So the meatball came back in, went straight back out. Classic.
Have been his 8 millionth hammy, because I swear he does one at least every second year.
I'd say substantially even more than it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, if you average it out over his career, I reckon he's done one every year.
It's crazy.
On average.
Tom McCartan was actually out before the game last week as well with a knee sort of sprain, which is a bit of a weird one. He'd been playing awesome, and they're like, we're going to be really careful with this. So it was like a 3 to 4 week one or whatever. Dan Butler out 3 to 4 weeks as well. That was during the game as well. And Harry Perryman as well, hammy. Myercheck did a hammy. Tex did a hammy. It's like, we're getting to the point of the season where we just do all the soft tissue injuries. This happens every year, and we all sort of seem to forget it. But here we are, round 8. So 2 months in, it all sort of tracks, I guess.
It's that time of the year where it just the weather drops off. It gets a bit colder. Like I noticed from basically Saturday onwards, it's gotten cold. Today I was walking around the factory and I was freezing in my shorts, so it might be the pants tomorrow, but it's dropped off. But it came in about half time on Saturday afternoon while I was watching Learmonth up at Learmonth, and it went from being a nice, windy but balmy day to just freezing within 10 minutes, as happens out in Ballarat.
Yep.
And then it was 22, 23 degrees by the time I got back home in Melbourne. So bit odd, but look, it's hit us quickly, and I reckon that's got a lot to do with these soft tissue injuries, the changing climate. As you just mentioned, 2 months worth of bash and crash. The ground's going to start getting a little bit heavier. The bodies are starting to get tired. So,
and as a medical doctor,
good footy comes.
As a medical doctor, this is your preferred opinion. So I like this. Right, there's some other injuries floating around. There was there was an adductor. I can't remember who that was. I didn't write it down. It was a bit of a tough one. There's a couple of I feel like the Dogs missed a couple more people as well, and you're like, geez, I just can't take a trick. But anyway, and I think it might have been the Tigers only might be getting like Taranto back as well, so they're just short on dudes at this point. But anyway, let's wrap up some games from the weekend. Thursday night footy. Collingwood 93, Hawthorn 93. Oh my God, not a draw. This is the worst. No one knows how to fit. Just shut up. It's a draw. Like, it's not the end of the world.
It's like Dennis Pagan said. It's like kissing your sister.
That was weird.
It's not.
I'm pretty sure, isn't the saying it's like kissing your cousin? Like, not kissing your sister.
I think he meant dancing with your sister.
Dancing with your sister.
Was what he actually said. But then you have all these Muppets in the media who go, oh, he said kissing with your sister. It's like, no, it's not what you want to do. He said dancing with your sister.
It's not some deep-seated weirdness you've got going on.
Weird stuff that you've got coming out, Gary Lyon.
What happens to your sister's sister? I don't know. Is she married? But anyway, the final score was amazing. 15-3 to 13-15. So one team, Hawthorn, didn't take their chances. It took that Ginnivan goal that brought the house down too as well. That sort of really sparked them, which was good. But this game was it wasn't great the first half. Then the second half was amazing. Like, it was just and I don't use this that often, Jez, a rollicking affair. It was a rollicking affair. It was back
going to the
forth.
Jared Waitley / Anthony Hudson textbook here for
it was a rollicking affair, Jez. It was
a rollicking affair.
There was just like the Nick Watson handball over the top of the big fella to himself was awesome, and like nailing it to Cal Shadir. There was just some awesome stuff going on in this game. The Ginnivan subplot was very, very fun. And then I think just the sheer like tension of like having a draw and like just one team desperately trying to like get that last score, get that, and then it all happens and it all culminates in just a comedy of errors from the Pies defenders, and Dylan Moore ends up with the ball again, kicking for the tie after the siren. So it was awesome. And I mean, we saw it. We actually saw it. Carlton Collingwood, like Taylor Byrne having a kick after the siren, basically to tie it up. He misses, unfortunately. But yeah, Dylan Moore right in front, nails it, and everyone feels weird in their pants, apparently.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you here. There was a lot of calls from the in the moment media, AFL media, that this was the game of the season. It was a great game. It was one of the most entertaining games of the season. But as far as great game of the season, as you said, the first half was meh. And then as Hawthorn started to come back in, hang on a minute. But then I had this feeling that Collingwood were going to hang on because Hawthorn just kept shooting themselves in the foot time after time. And then when they didn't and they came back, I went, I reckon the narrative coming out of Collingwood is that they'd take that. But I reckon they might have just soiled the bed a little bit there.
Feels like,
especially Darcy Moore. What's going on there? That's not a mistake that your premiership captain should be making.
He's going to pop up later. Yeah. I feel like the funny thing is Hawthorn have now played 3 games of the year already. This is the Geelong game, the Port game. Like, it's all just it's absolutely chaos, I reckon. Like, the game that they played against Sydney was awesome as well, right? So just sort of non-stop games of the year. I think
the Geelong-Hawthorn game, you would have to say, is the one at the moment. And there's another game we're going to talk about soon, which I reckon wasn't too far behind. But yeah, that was, for me, that's the game of the season. This one was a very entertaining game, but nowhere near it.
I think Hawthorn might just be addicted to playing games of the year.
Mm.
I think that just might be their vibe.
Yep.
Friday night footy. Doggies, Freo. This was a much more entertaining game than expected. The Dogs were undermanned, but they fought valiantly. It took everything, actually, from Freo to sort of get up.
At half time.
It was chaos. I'm like, oh, God, we've made a horrible mistake here to the Squid because we tipped Freo. He and I have the tips, which I actually always keep forgetting to put in the Footy Unfilterated group that we have, but oh, well. So I think I'm dead last there because I just don't use it as my proper tips. But anyway, this was the Bont was still fantastic. It was like a very, very, very Marvel game, right? It's a Marvel Friday night game. Like just stuff just keeps happening. And you're like, here we go. I think, wait, are they in this? And it took everything for Freo to sort of kick away. Like, what was it? Dudley in the second half was awesome.
Bolton.
Luke Jackson was unreal. He was, I don't know, Tinglish was back as well, right? And he's just like, this is
made a massive difference.
But they still absolutely smashed them in the hit-outs. So
it didn't? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a weird one. But I think the crazy part was like Hayden Young just went full Bont in the second half and basically carried Freo. What did he kick, like 2 goals or whatever it was in the second half by himself as well? He has those games where you're like, is Hayden Young like one of the 15 best players?
He could be. Yeah.
It's just.
But they also did just enough, Freo. Like I sort of watched it just before halftime, and then I thought, hang on, the Dogs are going all right. They might have bounced back. You know, they got Tinglish back and a couple of others, but Freo on the back of Hayden Young, they just did enough.
Yep.
You know, just to get themselves ahead and stay ahead for the rest of the game. And I guess that's the sign of a good team, as they say on all the footy shows.
Yeah, I mean,
I think what are we now? We're 7. They've won 7 in a row.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't even think about it. We said it last week. You just wouldn't. You don't read about them. You don't hear about them other than they've won again. They've done just enough, but they're just doing it by these little, 2-3 goal margins, and they're just doing enough to get by.
That's it.
So,
and I think
interesting.
Like they didn't take the lead until like late in the third, I think, overall. And then they sort of just put him to the sword. Dogs dragged it back, and you're like, oh, God, are they going to pull off the massive comeback? And it was just a very, very, very fun game of footy. I think Old Mate came back in. I was watching this one in the front bar of the Prince, and that's right. And because I was sitting next to a gaggle of ladies who had obviously been out on the Terps and were having a pretty fun time. And they kept trying to talk to me, Jess, and I'm like, I don't want to talk. I'm pretty locked in on this game right now. So apologies. Meanwhile, the showdown's happening as well, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. I just don't. Like, thanks, but I'm good. And then, so that's all going on, and you're like, whoa, Freo, hold on. It gets all very squirrely right at the end. They kick the last Shea Belton goal. They hold on to win. And I think is that the 4th straight loss as well for the Dogs? 4 straight losses they've not had since 2019, I think it was. And you're like, this is like the weird sort of thing about the Bevo era is that, they'll do the win-loss, 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 but they don't do the loss, 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 loss. So bit of a weird one. I think
it's the first time that they've actually got a decent reason for. Sorry, my daughter's just come home, so all the dogs are about to go off. Because they're very happy to see her, which is, not that there's anything wrong with that, but they will struggle to contain their excitement. A bit like me when we beat the Demons, but anyway. Seems like a decade ago. Sorry, I've actually lost my point there, my complete train of thought.
Freo good, Dogs pretty okay, lost some in a row.
That was what I was saying. Bevo, at least this time he's kind of... There's a reason, not an excuse, but a reason. Every other time it's been like, why did they do that? How come they dropped him? Why is he playing there?
Yeah.
Finally the year where they look like they're about to put it all together, and they've copped this. So let's see what happens.
But with Tinglish back, it sort of just solidifies them a bit, and that sort of obviously kept them in the game a lot as well, just having his presence there. So good on him. Then
I think if they can get a few back, they'll be all right. But anyway, the other game, yes, Jim.
Showdown. Was it 59, I think? Yeah.
59, yes.
76, the Crom. 75, the Power. What a game. Crom came...
This was awesome.
They finishes off with the Braden Cook goal. But the way they get there, where they blow the lead, and you're like, oh, Lord, what are they doing? And I think they're up by 21, I want to say, because I remember that. Maybe it was a graphic or I read it somewhere. They're like, up by 21 in the fourth. They blow the lead, and they just grab it back at the last second because of Braden Cook. And again, I'm just watching this in the pub, losing my shit, just going, what is going on? This is incredible. And there was like clearly...
I was doing the same on the couch at home. It was so good.
Clearly Crow supporters in the front bar as well, like just over in the corner, absolutely going off their nut once it all came to a head. And I'm just like, yeah, it's good. Good on you. Way to come from Adelaide or be from Adelaide.
Hell yeah.
But somehow being St Kilda.
It was... The last 5 minutes of that game was some of the most exciting footy I've watched. I think it was Joe Berry that kicked the goal with 40 seconds to go. And it was a good goal too. And I thought, that's it. They're just going to, as soon as that ball gets thrown in the air, they're just going to throw everyone behind the footy. But that's probably the best part about the 6-6-6 rule is that you can't do that now. So even with as little as 40 seconds left, there's still a chance to get it in there. Whereas, in years gone by before the rule, you just dump everyone behind the footy. Yeah. Which, why wouldn't you if you're allowed to? But I just thought the way the free kick that Adelaide got, and then it was set up. It was such a good game, back and forth all game. There was a little bit of, push and shove, a good friendly banter there as well. I think, I love watching the showdowns. I reckon that'd be an awesome game to go over and watch live as well. So,
but the really cool part is when you put it as part of a double header that overlaps on a Friday night. But we should have this at the MCG. Just the important. We've done this now back-to-back weeks as well, right? We had the derby. Was that last week? Might have been the week before. Whatever. We've had. Oh no, that was after gather round or whatever it was, wasn't it? So you had the Sydney derby. Sydney GWS on a double header Friday night. It's like, just let these things breathe. I think we can trust footy fans enough now to go, footy fans aren't idiots. Like, if you have it on free to wear on a Friday night, have it as a big standalone game, you know what? They'll be invested in it as well. Because if these teams are good, they'll have a great game of footy.
I don't want to disappoint you, but I just had a little quick sneaky peek. The next 3 rounds have got double headers again.
Yeah. It's great. Just great thinking, AFL. It's like, we want to be like the NRL. It's like the NRL doesn't run them at the same time. They
have a game that can be done within 2 hours.
It's a double header.
We need 3-hour time slots for our games.
But the overlapping, it's just insane. Anyway, so this game was awesome. They lose Tex early. Obviously, but the Joe Berry goal that you mentioned, like with the 40 seconds left, was absolutely awesome. And then Braden Cook somehow topped it with the one, the 10 seconds left. Braden Cook, all-time showdown legend now. Like, that's really, really cool. But, I mean, so much of this game was just, it was also a bit of a rock fight for a lot of it. Georgiades was really good. What did he kick, like 3 or whatever? And I think, again...
Inaccurate again, I think. So
Aliir was awesome down back too. Like he and Berry were fantastic, I thought. So, and
Sam Berry for the Crows was the showdown medalist, which everything I heard on the broadcast was about Malera, and they surely he's got it, and then they say Sam Berry, and I just that shows how much you clowns know. I'm going to point this out now. Dwayne Russell, he's moves very quickly to top of the worst commentator in the game. The carry on. I swear to God, he just talks and just keeps talking to no one while the other special comments are talking to each other. Some of the things he was saying on Friday, the crowd's gone absolutely wild on that one, and there was no crowd noise. It's like, no, they haven't, Dwayne, you idiot.
It's a bit of a weird
one. What game are you watching?
Especially in a world
He's a strange unit.
Especially in a world where Jared Healy is still commentating games and is just angry at everything and just sad and angry. And you're like the old bloke at the pub who's just like, whose wife's left him and is just angry at everything and is just like sour.
I'm pretty sure he actually uses Zoom still from the nursing home. Like, that's how old Jared Healy is.
Oh, man. That sucks, doesn't it? But anyway, that was a ripper of a game. Enjoyed it a lot. Let's punch through the rest of these. Essendon 79, Brisbane 143.
Nothing to see here.
Brother-in-law went
Honestly,
to this.
Nothing to see
here. Yeah, bloodbath. Like, it was close early, and then it wasn't. And
what, for the first 30 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
The only thing The only thing I can say about this is I didn't watch it at the time because I was on my way to Ballarat, but from what I saw on the broadcast when I did watch it, there was no atmosphere at the ground.
Yeah, a bit of a
they had a small crowd for Essendon, and the fans were just like, whatever. The ones that were there didn't really show much, and neither did their football team. So what do you do?
Yeah, so we had this on because obviously old mate, she's a Bombers supporter. Her brother is at the footy with our nephew. They're having a good time. Yep. We chucked it on the TV. It's like halfway through the first quarter. You're like, it's not too bad. Oh, boom. Down 40. You're like, Jesus, that escalated quickly. Brick killed a guy. Like Peter Wright killed a guy.
Yeah.
Still, it was like 30 points, I think, by the end of the first quarter, I want to say. And,
Yeah.
Wasn't looking good.
Yeah, I think it was 7-1 in the first, and they just... They did, again, they got the lead and they held it and did what they had to do and just showed why they're the best, and we're definitely not.
Yep. I think...
Next.
Yeah. I think Brisbane are really good, and I think the thing that I was like watching this and I'm like, I think the smartest thing I want to do is just put a premiership future on the Lions just to do the three-peat, because I forgot to do it at the start of the year. And I think after a couple of losses, I'm like, I should have been jumping onto them. What am I doing? So, yeah.
Yep.
Chasing my tail. But anyway, then we had a very hilarious game out west. West Coast lost to Richmond 88-99. So the Tigers get a win despite having no players left. West Coast completely bottled this. Harley Reid he had two amazing goals. He also had two of the stupidest free kicks you'll ever see. A 50-metre penalty that was like him and Yo sort of screwing up. And it was just... back and forth, just like two one-legged men in an ass-kicking contest, 100%. Like,
yeah,
it was horrible, absolutely horrible,
ordinary. Yeah, I didn't really watch. I didn't bother going back to watch this one because I heard the end of it as I was listening to the next game on the way home. They decided to give up on the Geelong and North game commentary and just commentate the last minute of this game, but. I think it's good for Richmond, as bad as it is for the Eagles, but I think it's good for Richmond, to go so long without a game. And obviously, I understand that as an Essendon supporter that we went a fair while without one. West Coast have won only a handful of games in the last few years. So when you see a team full of young kids, it's always good to see them have a win, and especially away. Like I think you always hear the coaches and old players talk about, it's these type of experiences that really help a team to gel and to bond. And when you've got, I'm just looking at their playing list here, and of the top, let's go with the top few disposals for Richmond alone, and you've got Jaden Short and then Hopper and Bolter, and the rest of them are all young names that aren't sort of well known. Like Kane McAuliffe was unreal with 28 and a goal. Sam Cumming, Tom Brown. You're going down to size names like this. It just you don't associate that with Richard. Having been what they were, in their premiership years, a lot of these names you're just like who? Oh yeah. Oh okay, yeah, he's not too bad. Oh, who? And yeah, it's
going to be hard.
It's good. As bad as it is for West Coast, I think that was a really, really bad loss for them. They would have, and I think they played as if they had it won.
100%. They thought they were better. Everyone's tipped us. We're going to win this.
We're at home. We've got the crowd on our side.
I think the funniest part is that Richmond's last win came against West Coast. So back-to-back undefeated champs out west, I think. So good on them.
We should play them every week.
Geelong 135, North Melbourne 86. This was a really good game, and then it wasn't. It was I was at the pub watching this one. The end of the third quarter, it was still close, and then Geelong started kicking away just before the end of the third quarter.
Midway through, yeah. The North were actually up by a goal.
Yeah. It was crazy. So
I believe
it was really fun. Suva kicked his 300th. You're like, this is great. Less than a goal in it late in the third quarter, and you're like, this is pretty cool. And then the Cats just went whack, 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 and you're like, Jesus Christ! So
they just showed at their best that they are as good as anyone else in the league. I think the issue for the Cats is putting that together on a consistent basis, but they definitely sent a message that if you come down here to our home, you better be prepared to play 120 minutes.
Yeah, I think this was the game where you could sort of see the youth versus the elder statesmen of Geelong really sort of hit that brick wall, and like Luke Parker is just kind of like flummoxed all of a sudden. There's like a couple of little weird mistakes, and you're like, what's going on here? And then even towards the Jack Darling goal, I think they kicked at the start of the fourth, it just went like straight up and somehow fell in, which was crazy. Like even he couldn't believe it. He's like watching it. He's like, I think that's gone through. That was awesome.
I think this is what you're going to get from North sometimes, especially when they play a team like this who needed to make a bit of a statement after a pretty poor loss last week, and they've been up and down with their form and that sort of thing. And North, I still think the fact that it was, 49 points, it doesn't tell the story. Like if you just look at it in the paper and go, oh, yeah, Geelong smashed North, it doesn't tell the story of the game. Like that, yes, they smashed them, but they only... It's sort of one of those things, especially down there. They play that ground so well, and they do get well supported by their crowds. But it's hard to stop, especially when you're a young team that hasn't learnt how to win with like a real gritty style. It's hard to stop it when they get started. And a team like Geelong, when they get on a roll like that, they're so hard to stop. So I think that score kind of flatters Geelong a bit. But yeah, I think it was nowhere near as bad a game as it looks on paper. So
yeah, North rolling over Carlton late and like doing the comeback and smashing them. It's probably not good training really to then take on someone like Geelong, who's actually good, and will actually get you back. So yeah. Speaking of Carlton, they had 69 points. Nice. St Kilda had 108, however, and I don't know. Stop me if you've heard this one before, Jez. I mean, stop me now, so stop me. What a game this was in the first half. Because I'll tell you what, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Right? And at this point, I don't understand why Voss hasn't been sacked. Because you can keep fronting the media and saying the same thing about, we've no idea, then it all just went, I don't know why. It's like, we're not doing these things. It's like, I don't know if there's a where in here. The we are is a bit sideways here, Mr. Voss. And like, when it just keeps happening.
Something not right.
So I'm all for just going, screw it, Adam Simpson, you're now in charge. So off we go. Because
I think
you can't get
what were they doing in dropping Cooper Lord?
So Cooper Lord not playing, George Hewitt not playing. You're just like, dude, name two people on that team right now who are better than those two dudes. And if you're not playing good footballers, guess what? Bad football will happen. And I think like the structure of the team, etc. Like Chera has come back. He still looks completely underdone. Like I think he came back in the game that we're at, and he's still looking.
Yeah. He looked almost as lost as Elijah Holland.
In that game he did, and ever since then he's sort of just been like a pace and a half too slow. Like, I don't know. Like
Cripps is off the boil. Massively off the boil.
Sard at least was back and sort of gave them a little bit more. Like having Sard back, having Newman back, I think it'll probably figure itself out and they'll win one or two more games. But it's basket case time almost, and especially the Voss stuff. You just can't do it. But the story is Carlton being good for the first half and then being absolutely horrible and giving up the ghost in the second half, which is what always happens. To the tune of 8 unanswered goals, Jez. 8! If I was still capable of feeling, I'd probably be angry. But instead, it's just an everlasting pit of sadness, really. So I'm just
It's the hope that gets you, though, isn't it, Jim? Like, you get this half-time thing.
Like, they've done it to us before.
But you get this little sniff of half-time. Could this be the one that we actually follow through?
This time would have been
and not in the bad follow-through way.
Yeah.
Like when you push a little bit too hard on something, which is what they seem to be doing.
Yep.
But, if I wasn't an Essendon supporter, I'd be saying, geez, I'm glad I'm not a Carlton supporter, which I'm glad I'm not. But we've got the same issues, just in a whole different scale. But anyway.
So 8 unanswered goals and 9 unanswered across the half.
How good's footy? How good's footy, hey?
Nothing better. Like Naz getting off the chain was the most predictable thing in the world. Matty Carroll's awesome mark was awesome.
That was a real good, absolute ripper.
DeConing and Silvani, like, if Carlton had have beaten them, like, it would have been the very, 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 like, epitome of a bit of hubris there. And so, how do you like us now? It's like, well, no, they lost and they probably made the right decision to go cash those checks. So good on them.
I like the way the narrative was around how they'd worked out how to play DeConing and Marshall, because Marshall was awesome, but it's like, hang on, you're playing Carlton.
Yeah.
Settle down.
It'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Like,
yep. It'll be back to usual next week for the Saints.
Carlton play Brisbane this week, so it's going to get so much worse.
Ooh,
man. Sunday, we had a really fun Sydney-Melbourne game. It was pretty fun. Sydney kick away, and then Melbourne sort of dragged themselves back into it despite losing Myercheck. And, yeah, this was like Cozzy, again, sort of just got off the chain a little bit late and sort of started influencing things. And I feel like they got it down to like less than 2 goals, like pretty in short order.
Yeah, and then there was a 50-metre penalty at the end there that sort of shut it down. But they were looking like they had the legs to run over the top of them. But, yeah, that 50-metre penalty at the end there kind of just stopped it in its tracks.
Right.
But another awesome game involving these two clubs. How good is it watching these guys at the moment?
Sydney's awesome, and, like, no one's beating them at the moment because they're the best team in the league, obviously.
Obviously.
Maybe in league history. So, like Gawn goes up.
Hello
forward.
to all you Sydney supporters out there.
Gawn goes forward, and it was we kind of got robbed of, a sort of classic Maxi Grundy battle for all 4 quarters, but we got enough of it to sort of satiate the need, I think. But the way that Melbourne sort
Grundy
of back,
Grundy was
awesome.
Pretty good too. And it was his 250th, wasn't it? Grundy's.
Sure was.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Managed to kick a big goal. That was pretty good. But this is like Heaney back. You have a bit of a Marty party, but the story is like Malcolm Rose kicking 7. Like
that 5 by half time.
He was amazing. So
yep.
The two that he kicked late.
And they gave up nothing for him.
Tell you what, you know what Carlton could use? Like a speedy small forward, because, I don't know, none of ours are actually quick. It sucks.
They got to stop recruiting them from GWS and Essendon.
I was like, no, Logan Evans will be the fix. He's 420 years old. What are we doing? That's just absurd. Yeah. Anyway, love Logan Evans. No, wait, Francis Evans. What am I saying? Because
I was going to say, who's Logan Evans?
I think he plays for Port.
Doesn't he play for someone else? Yeah.
So, Francisco. I love Francis Evans.
He was the one that Sicily and who was it? Sicily and
Moore they both
belted in the same game.
Amazing.
So you don't want him by the sounds of it. He must be an absolute knob.
Annoying prick. Anyway, great job by Sydney. Good win. They're just, the Logan McDonald.
Melbourne would be happy with that as much as they wouldn't be. They'd have to be happy with that against the greatest team of all time.
Putting up a fight. And it was crazy watching this. Like, it felt so dead across that 3rd and 4th quarter because they're just smashing them. And then you don't see it that often where it's just like the come to life, the zombie team just going, brains, and just like come from nowhere just to get right back in it and then gave up the ghost. But anyway.
No, they're definitely 2 of my favourite teams to watch at the moment.
And then my favourite team, Gold Coast, 83, GWS 63, because where did this take place? That's right, above the 27th parallel, where they are unbeatable. So the good news is I think they've got the next 2 games in the Northern Territory, and I have my swag of kit coming for all the Gold Coast stuff. So hoping to be kitted out properly as a fully fledged Gold Coast Suns fan now.
So you've fully jumped ship.
I'm just going. See ya.
I don't blame you.
I love them playing up north because the juxtaposition of them being down south is just amazing. So this was only their 2nd time in the last 17 matches they've actually beaten GWS, and only the first time since 2021. So they've certainly had the wood over them in the Expansion Cup, but this was a really good one. Jamara was fantastic. I was watching this with the squid.
He was really good.
For the first half, he's like, "Who's that, Dad?" It's like, he actually picked it as well. He's like, "Is that Jamara?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he went to Gold Coast." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "I've got his card." It's like, "Yeah, when he was on the Dogs and didn't play last year." But Petrarca looked really good. Took Miller looked awesome because they didn't have Matt Rao with his ankle, I want to say. And
yes, I believe so.
They sort of just dominated, but like GWS never really, like you felt like you needed like a really huge, big, influential Toby Green game. That never really came. Cadman was awesome. enjoyed that. Jesse Hogan was like bothered by an injury as well. He looked
he was well off.
Looked a bit janky.
Him and Green were both like Green. He dropped that really. I think it was just before half or just before 3/4 time. He dropped that really simple mark, which would have been a shot on goal.
Yeah.
And you could just see the frustration. He just belted the ball away. Hogan he'd have a shot for goal and miss, and then he'd be off the ground for taping or a rub. And they're both of them are kind of there. If you had to explain GWS's season, you would say just have a look at how Toby and Jesse have played, and then the fact that Jake Stringer's basically been their most consistent forward also says it all.
Yep. So. They're just weird and clunky. They couldn't hit a goal, like they couldn't hit a shot either. I think they started 1-7 in this. Like they just tried to do it was basically weird because that's what Hawthorn did to start the week, and then GWS finished it off the week doing the same thing. And obviously,
I think they were 0-6 before they kicked a goal, and it was Cadman who kicked their first one.
Yep.
And they started off with maybe 1 or 2 behinds, and it looked like Gold Coast were on, and then they got themselves back in it, but just kept kicking, as you said, kicking the points. So
it was really
they're
weird.
definitely. I think they're very close to done. The GWS.
Yeah, it's a sad, weird one, but there you go. Good job by my beloved Suns. That is the round 8 wrap. Let's do some weekly awards.
Let's do it, Jim.
Gablet Areas, best on ground of the week. For me, that was Maximus Holmesicus. Max Holmes was awesome. He was so good in that game. Like, if you want to look at that exact moment where the North, basically, he Carly marred North a little bit. Because like there was just 2 or 3 different possessions where he's just suddenly streaming down a wing. He's gotten it like at half-back. He's gotten it back. He's pumping it forward. Yep. Someone else has gotten a half-back. He's out on a wing, putting it forward. You're like, Jesus, Max Holmes. And it was just everywhere. One after the other. And you're like, God damn. Like you don't often sort of see that sort of performance from, you know, especially in that sort of style. Like it was a very strange odd one, but he just sort of grabbed the game. Like not in the guts of it or anything particularly. It was just more like his influence was everywhere. So that was awesome. And yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. I'm just sort of sitting there in the pub watching this just going, that's unreal. He's crushing it. Honorable mention, obviously, Malcolm Roses because 7 goals, career high, off his head. So that was unreal. How about you, Jez?
I'm going to go for your boy, Johnny Noble.
The weapon.
I think he had 36 in the goal. And he was like watching the game. He was everywhere. I thought he was pretty good. Underrated, I think. So, like, they didn't speak enough about him, but he did a lot. He just seemed to be on in every chain of possession and, really big driving factor towards the Suns. And I think the Suns played themselves into a little bit of form there.
He's unreal. He is like an absolute weapon. He's got the hair. He's great. Underrated. Just sort of does everything and does it really well. Like, there's like a level of class that you get with him that just sort of, one of those, rising tides floats all boats kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And I like the way his exit from Collingwood and missing out on the grand final. And he when that happens to people, you can go one of 2 ways. You can either have a big sook about it and get your dad to write an article in the paper and stuff like that. Or you can go, all right, I'm never going to let that happen again. And he did that, knuckled down, and he's just so much better player. He's fitter. He's such an asset, and he's one of the better players in the comp now for sure. Definitely taking the positive route from Collingwood, which is good to see.
Speaking of which, another honourable mention, I thought Ginnivan was awesome the other day.
Yeah, and I think he's having a great season.
He's been fantastic.
A really, really good season.
And, I mean, I think I said this like maybe a week or 2 ago, but he's exactly what Collingwood need, ironically. It's like they don't have that guy. And
they'd be pretty happy with a John Noble right now too, wouldn't they? And a few others maybe that.
Anyway. What are you going to do? Who are you going to buy a beer this week? I am going to buy Dylan Moore a tin because kicking that goal, even if you're right in front of that many people just to tie the game, just the stones.
The only thing is if you buy him a beer, you have to be prepared to get on a scissor lift with him later in the night.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk about...
Are you licensed to drive one of them, Jim?
They dropped those charges. There was nothing else there. I mean, Nothing to see here. Move along. And obviously, Braden Cook, Though I don't feel like I'll need to buy him a beer. There'll be plenty of Crom fans buying him some West End.
He'll be buying a beer for a long, long time, that young man.
That was very sick. How about you there, Jez?
I'm going to buy Adam Uze a beer because he has had it rough in his first couple of years of coaching, and I think a win like that away from home, as we mentioned in the game wrap, will do wonders for his young group, and I reckon he would be sitting there on the plane, probably not having to buy too many beers when he gets back from some of the Richmond faithful, but I'd happily buy him a beer at the moment. I think he's doing a good job in a really tough situation. He's got a lot of kids there, and they're going to be like very similar to how I feel Essendon go. I'm not sure if Brad Scott's doing as good a job. I'm a little bit on the fence there, but I think Adam Uze's got him going in the right direction. And whenever you see him on the sidelines and stuff, you like the way it looks like he's approaching his team. So, Cheers, Adam.
Yeah, it's a hard gig, I think, with the rebuilds and how long they take in the AFL. But then you sort of watch someone like Hawthorn and where they were in a bit of their rebuild and how quickly they turned it around. You're like, oh, God damn it, Hawthorn. Anyway. The Ben Mackay Memorial Spud of the Week. Darcy Moore. That was there's like three things that he gave away, another free before the disastrous one late, right? And so there was one that he gave away on the wing. We were like, what the hell was that? And then they drops the mark where he runs into Maynard, just spills it, and it's over. And then the high tackle that gives away the free, and you're like, that is
what's going on here, bud? Yeah,
looks like a
very un-premiership captain like.
Yeah, it looks like a guy hasn't played that much footy lately, kind of vibes, right? So, a bit spud worthy. And Sam Cumming, this is just an honourable mention, funny one where he booted it the wrong way for 50 metres. So that was a bit rough.
We've all done that at some point.
We 100% have.
It's like the old shooting the hoop in the wrong end when you're playing junior basketball. We all did that.
Oh, no, the other way.
Oh, you scored, you idiot.
All right, who's your spud, Jez?
So I've got Todd Marshall from Port Adelaide. I think to half-time he hadn't actually touched the ball, and he ended up with 7 disposals. But, I think, look, it's a bit harsh because he's been sort of in and out with injury, but he's also a senior player. So I think if you're going to go a whole half of football without touching it, and don't fact check me on that because he might have had 1 or 2, but I'm going with none. All right.
This makes a better story.
If you got a problem, send me a nah.
I think Todd Marshall's as a proud Todd Marshall owner and super coach, that was a kick in the guts on my rage trade straight away. He's out. I'm done. I can't deal with this. Yeah. Yep. And finally,
I think. Go.
That's all right. Better than Bootsma is the other one, and that's it. William Dersma. His goal was off its head. I enjoyed it immensely. His it was right at the end of the game. It's like getting a little bit chaotic. They're trying to just not absolutely bottle it. They still bottle it, but he's really good. And I feel like West Coast, it's just a weird one that they lose that game, and you felt like they had like a little bit of momentum early parts of this season, and then to lose to Richmond at home is a bit, how you going? So, but anyway, William Dersma, pretty good.
Yep. I've gone with, we mentioned him before, Braden Cook. For the same reason, the goal was just unreal, but he also played a really good game, and he's played a few good games as a youngster, but he still had 20-odd touches and kicked the match-winning goal. So I'm going with young Braden Cook. Don't have to worry about buying him a beer because he's better than Bootsma.
He is. He's pretty bloody good. I'll tell you. Is right. As I said at the top, draws.
The big hitting ones.
Draws, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
What's wrong with them?
I don't care. It's fine. People who get bent out of shape.
It's a unique thing that we have in our game. You don't have a draw in. Well, you have draws in cricket, but that's a different sport altogether. But you don't have draws in rugby league. You don't have draws. Well, you have draws in soccer, and that's probably different again. I'm not really making this point very well. Just
I think people get.
I'm leaving it at that. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. I think people get too bent out of shape about it are just weird. We need a result. It's like it is a result. It's 2 points. You split their points. Like
one thing it does do is it creates intrigue in the ladder and the standings because you see, so often the percentage comes in, but then all of a sudden they've got a half game and they're, if they lose, they're out. If they win, they're up at 5th or something like that. And so I think it throws a really interesting spanner in the works later in the season, a draw. So I reckon keep them. They're great.
Yeah,
why not?
I'm fine. It's just fine. Like, it's awesome when it happens. Like, it's a unique proposition. So, yes, we don't need them in finals, so that's fine. So play extra time.
I agree with that.
But in the regular season, just finish it and just go home with 2 points.
Yep.
The gold number 10 for Pendles. You feeling all right about this one, Jez? Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're going to have it for Pendles, if somebody gets to that point again, then obviously you would assume, rightly so, that they would have that. But, I mean, everyone will be saying, it's Collingwood, they get whatever they want, which is pretty much true. I have no doubt that there's a lot of Eddie Maguire's hands all over this. So, yeah, as long as it's done for the next person who gets to 409 million games, I'm happy enough with it. You?
I'm fine with it. I don't really care. I'm just like, yeah, sure. But that's all right. It's pretty awesome.
It's a bit of fun.
Because I remember as a kid, like Michael Tuck's record seemed unbreakable, then Brent Harvey broke it. And now 10 years later, Pendles is breaking it.
And that seemed unbreakable. Yeah.
You're just like basically hitting this point where following NBA, LeBron, Tom Brady in the NFL, there's just like these extreme like outlier athletes who will just keep doing crazy stuff until they just can't.
Well, you've got a couple of guys like Jack Crisp on his team who's played something like 270 odd games in a row. You've got Cal Wilkie who hasn't missed a game since he debuted. So there's always going to be one or two, the outliers. And there'll be someone there that'll come through, and it'll probably be someone we least expect, someone that's been bashed and crashed and, hit around, and then all of a sudden they have a position change and end up playing another 5 years on a wing instead of half forward or full forward. So
nice. I guess the other one is, did they miss a trick by not having a statue ready for Pendles to unveil when he actually plays the game? Because the big debate is, will he have a statue? It's like, yes, he's played the most games in the AFL. He's played more games at the MCG than anybody else by a horrifyingly large margin. But at the same time, like, yeah, cool. At the same time, we're going to just wait until he's super old and everyone's like, I remember Pendles, as opposed to now where he can have his flowers and it's like, that's kind of neat.
I think I'd probably wait till he retires. Maybe not when he's 175, but he'll probably still be playing then.
Yep.
But I reckon I think statues and those sort of honours, I'm happy for them to wait till they've retired. Which, I mean, they've got to wait 5 years to get in the Hall of Fame after they retire. So somewhere within there, if they're worthy of it. And if you've played 500 games, which is probably what he'll end up doing, then you're definitely worthy of the statue. So
yeah, he'll be 175 and he still wouldn't have played a game in Kardinia Park. So, right. I think, the last one, I just wanted to, I think the worm has now turned. So sack Voss. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. I think so. I think we said this in round 4, that he keeps losing the same way. All the results seem to go, and even the ones where they get against Adelaide, they were in the game early, then faded away. Every game so far, they've been in it and faded away, except for probably the Freo game where they did the reverse and nearly came back. So unless he can find out a way to bottle that experience and repeat it, which I don't think he can, I can't see it getting any better for him. So you might as well just cut it off at the neck now and move on.
That's kind of my point.
We're not making finals.
I don't see how it's getting better keeping him, right?
Like, it can only get worse.
Like, I think it just sort of sinks into the mire, gets worse, the culture suffers, because I think you get to a point with a coach where if each week it's, we keep saying this thing, and it just keeps happening. It's like, well, it's clearly not getting through for a specific reason. And I think that specific reason might be you. So, I don't know. Adam Simpson, like, it's weird. Adam Simpson is like already in the building, is like his mentor. And I'm like, I don't want to have like him do the Doc Rivers, but I do like Adam Simpson. I don't want like John Longmire or anybody. I'm like much more just like Adam Simpson seems Like a good fit.
He'd be a good fit for that list, I think. It's like if you had a list sort of like Richmond, you would need someone probably more like probably a Ken Hinkley.
Yep.
Ken Hinkley wouldn't be a bad. So I think I saw something about the Adelaide 36ers had sounded out Ken Hinkley as a mentor for Mike Wells, and which I thought, I'm always a fan of that type of thing. I think Freo back in the day had the Australian hockey team's coach Rick Charlesworth as a mentor to, I think it was Jared Neesham.
Awesome.
Or one of those guys. But cross-pollination, I guess, of sports it can only be a positive if you got the right people. I'd be all for Ken Hinkley coming on board and I don't want to jump down and cut Brad Scott, but at the same time I do. I'm coming on board at Essendon because I think the way I don't know if you've heard him much, and he only ever seems to be on Port Adelaide games, but he's got I really like and you'd think him being on Port Adelaide games would be shit because he's, obviously their coach, but he's very unbiased and he puts across a really good point of view and explains things in a way that you sort of get from coaches and players that have just come out of the game. I'm sure if he stays in the media for 4 or 5 years, he'll be a flog like the rest of them. But right now, I've been actually really enjoying Ken Hinkley on broadcasts. I think he's and you can see why the Port players, when you see him pre-game go down and they're all hugging up, and you can see there's still a lot of respect for him there. So I think that type of thing with a young group is what you need. So I don't know if I think he'd probably be a better fit than Longmire at Carlton, but I reckon Simpson's your man.
Yeah. Lifelong Blues fan as well. Right. That's some yeah-nahs. That's your awards. Now, let's look ahead.
We had dog breaks.
We've got
barking,
dog breaks.
And now.
It's round 9. Preview. Thursday night footy. Freo Hawthorn. This is a ripper game. What have they got? 2 losses between them? That's pretty good.
And a draw.
This is fun as.
This is 1v2, isn't it, Jim?
I don't know if it is because I don't know where Sydney are still on top.
No, it's 2v3.
2-3. So I'm taking the Dockers. I think Hawthorn are awesome, but I think the Dockers' size, Sicily sort of seemed to get himself hurt again, but he always sort of seems to do that, doesn't he? I think the Dockers at home, that's a tough proposition. They are 3.5-point favourites, and I think we're sleeping on Freo a little bit. I'm going to take the Dockers.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I think if that line was a little bit higher, I might be tempted to back the Hawks, but I think it's going to be a close one, but I think Freo will get up by that 2 or 3 goal margin they've managed to get up by in just about every game. So, but I think this could be the game of the year, Jim.
Could be.
Another, but it'll be interesting to see. This will show us where Freo are at genuinely.
Hawthorn are going
very excited for this one.
Hawthorn are going full 2006 Eagles and just getting addicted to stuff, but their stuff is games of the year. So that's all right. Heave-ho, both going Freo. Brisbane Lions, Carlton on Friday night. Pack her up, boys. You are done. That is a smashing at the Gabba. I would easily go 60+ here, so I'm taking Brisbane.
Can we change it to the line at halftime?
42.5 seems about fair, I reckon. So I don't think the Blues have even.
No, I'm gonna take the Lions.
I feel like Carlton, the scars.
I don't think they'll be up by. Yeah, I don't think they'll be up at halftime. This could be the game if they go out and get done by 100 points. This could be the one where they go, right, Michael. Thanks, but no thanks.
So there's the famous Carlton turnaround game where they lose to GWS after leading by they put up 50 points or whatever in the first quarter and they lose that game. It's the same year I think the Carlton end up 8th, and I take the Squid up to the Gabba for the elimination game.
Score in the first quarter
and down by 10.
Half quarter.
10, almost the entire half. They didn't score a goal. They kicked a goal just before the end of the first half. But we're down by 10 goals. So, yes, I had a 5-year-old who's in tears next to me at the Gabba for an elimination final. This is going to be a bloodbath. Brisbane are good. Carlton are horrible. So, pack her up.
So, you said a 5-year-old next to you in tears. So, you were in tears next to your 5-year-old. Just making that clear.
I was all. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Port Adelaide Western Bulldogs is a surprisingly excellent game. This sort of rocks.
This could be the game of the year, Jim.
1.5 point. Power are 1.5 point underdogs, which is...
I hate this line. I hate it.
Because I feel like...
I'm going to take the Power, though.
I feel like I want to take the Power as well. I don't know if the Western Bulldogs are really that great over in Adelaide Oval as well. So
if it was here, I'd probably be going the Dogs, but I think because it's over there, and they were good in the showdown, as much as the Dogs were good, but like you said, if it was reversed and it was at Marvel, I'd probably give the Dogs a shot in this, but I think Port will probably be too good. That's a really weird line.
It is,
for
isn't it?
Port at home. Especially considering their last couple of games, like they've taken it up to Hawthorn, they beat Geelong, and they've almost won the showdown. Like, I don't know. That's weird.
It is.
But anyway, I'm going to take Port.
So if we have a look at how the Western Bulldogs have done at the Adelaide Oval in the last little bit, they beat Adelaide there earlier this year when they were whole. That's pretty good. They were beaten by Adelaide there last year. They were smoked by Port Adelaide there 2 years ago. Lost to Port the time before that. Lost to Port the time before that. And, yeah, you're going to go back to the prelim in 2021 where they're actually going to win over Port at Adelaide Oval.
Very odd line, but Port for me, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to go Port. We have North Melbourne, Sydney down here, which is pretty interesting. And what I am going to do is make sure I know where this is, because it is a North Melbourne home game, but
it is at Marvel.
It is at Marvel. So 27.5, they play weird games, North, and especially against Sydney at Marvel. I'm taking North Melbourne. I think they can keep that within 5 goals. I think there's a sneaky chance that Sydney overlook them and North give themselves a really good chance of winning it, but ultimately do lose. But I will be taking the over in that game.
I am going to go Sydney because I think that there might be some trauma scars here from last week for North, and if Sydney get a little bit of a roll on in the third quarter, it could be lights out. Yep. So I'm going to go the Swans to cover.
Nice. We have GWS 44.5 point favourites against your Bomb Rays. There, Jez, 44.5. What do you reckon?
I am genuinely clouded on this one because I don't think GWS are that good.
That's kind of my point.
I'm actually going to take... I'm going to take me Bombers. I think 44 is way too much. I would... If GWS's line was 27.5, I'd probably go GWS. But I reckon we can keep it within 7 goals.
Yeah.
I think we're not that far off them. They haven't played well. They've got a whole heap of injuries. I don't know what's going on there. It's, the only thing I'm concerned about is that Jake Stringer and Jaden Laverty have a day out. But in saying that, it's only Jake Stringer.
And Jaden Laverty. I'm taking the Bombers as well because I think, so this is at NG. It sort of just feels like it will take a bit from GWS to really smoke Essendon, I reckon. So I reckon we'll go the Bombers to cover that. Then we have my beloved Suns, 17.5 point favourites over the Saints, the hated Saints. This is in the NT, which is at TIO Stadium, which is above the 27th parallel. So therefore, I'm taking the Gold Coast Suns.
Well, there you go. I would like that line to be a little bit lower for me to take Gold Coast. So I think they will win, but I'm going to take the Saints.
So this is TIO is Darwin. Yep. And it's going to be a weird one, but
I think it'll be a low-scoring game because it'll be dewy or not dewy? What's the word? Humid, and I think the humidity will probably play a big part in this, and I reckon it's going to be one of those games where there's a lot of points.
Yep.
A lot of behinds.
So who was your pick there, St Kilda?
I'm going to take Saints to cover.
Cool.
I think 17.5 is a little bit high for that. I think the Suns will win though.
It's a fun game. Really fun Saturday night game. Another really good Saturday night game is Geelong Collingwood. And because obviously it's a Geelong home game, they're playing at their traditional home ground of the MCG, which is in Melbourne, which is not in Geelong.
Of course they are.
Which I do love, which is fun. Like, again, I don't get bent out of shape about these ones because Geelong Collingwood is a cracking game. I think throwing back to...
Have 80 plus, yeah, for sure.
It's going to be huge. There was a great qualifying final, I want to say. I was walking home on a Friday night from when I was working at Beat Magazine, which was in Richmond, like in the bowels of Richmond. And so I walked back to our place, and I think at the time it was in Carlton, walked past the G. And walking past the G when a game that big is going on and it's a final, it's
pretty cool.
Off its head. I'm like, this is unreal. Like, I don't just want to hang out and experience this some more.
Yeah.
But those games are awesome. The thing is, the Cats this time are 11.5 point favourites against the Pies. And I'm going to take Geelong. I don't trust Collingwood. I just can't trust them, Jess.
I actually think this one's going to be a cracker, and I'm going to take Collingwood. I think the Cats will probably win it, but I think this could be another single-digit margin.
So they played this game
I'm going
the same time last year, and it was a 3-point margin. So there you go.
I'm going to take Collingwood. They've got this knack of keeping it low scoring and close, and I think they'll be able to do that against Geelong, who aren't, aside from a quarter and a half against North, who aren't in the greatest of form. They're going to have to be all guns blazing, I think, to cover that line.
Yep, I'll pay that.
I think the Pies.
Then Sunday afternoon, which is apparently now the traditional Melbourne Demons time slot, because I don't think they play any other time anymore. They're 43.5 point favourites against the West Coast Eagles. This is an annoying line because I feel like they could smash them. It's at the G.
Fair.
West Coast to the G. I don't want any bar of that, basically. Do we trust the Demons to be able to put up a big enough score, though?
Well, but Melbourne have been known to play down to average teams, i.e. they lost to Essendon.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Weagles to cover that. Not with a lot of confidence because I'm much like yourself. I think that this could either be a big loss or a very close game.
So they beat them 139-56 last year at the G. 2 years ago, 112-58. Beat them over there in 05. So twice last year they beat them. I don't know. 43.5 just does feel like a bit, doesn't it? But then, do you reckon they've learned anything from the Essendon loss, Chess?
I think they probably have, but they also lost Myercheck. So they're also battling a couple of injuries. So I think they'll be happy enough if they won by 5 goals and didn't have any injuries.
All right. I'm going to go Melbourne. So I'm just going to put a bit of faith.
I've got a few up on you, so I'm going to stick with West Coast.
True.
Why not?
Then finally, Richmond, Adelaide. Richmond are 35.5 point underdogs. Over here, I don't know what that's about. I think Adelaide are way better than them. And
is that a Marvel?
I think it must be one of those random games. But
yeah, because why not?
Why wouldn't you?
They've really got some issues of their own creating with the fixture, haven't they?
Melbourne,
at the G. Melbourne and West Coast is at Marvel.
What are Melbourne doing playing at Marvel? That's crazy. I might have to change that.
And we've got no Sunday night game.
So it's just 2 games early.
That sucks.
Weird. That's so strange. The Sunday night game is...
what am I going to do on Sunday night? It's the best.
It is nothing better than like you've got bounce in between 2 games late and off you go.
Anyway.
This change... Adelaide at the G, I actually probably prefer against Richmond. Actually, I'd probably take
I think I'll go. I'm going to stick with the Weagles, and even more so now at Marvel. But yeah, I'm going to take Adelaide at the G. Yeah. I think Richmond will be. I reckon they'll be flat when they come out because they've done all the hard work, and they'll find it hard to get up against Adelaide, who coming off a showdown. we'll probably be ready for a nice, big, easy win. So let's do that.
Nice one. All right, I'm going to stick with Melbourne and go with Adelaide as well. So I reckon you're now 4 or 5 picks up on me for the season because I think you picked up all 3 different ones this week. I think I clawed back 1 or 2,
nice.
So it's either 4 or 5. I reckon you're up. Not bad. Best bet for this week, though, I did. So I won Slevo's Punters Club last week. The Brisbane Essendon over absolutely smashed. I think all purely because, as we actually talked about, purely because of the Lions. So that was good. A little bit of help from Essendon there, but they crushed it. And yours was Neil 35+. He didn't quite get there. So, yeah. Anyway.
Thought that was a sure thing, but here we are.
Here we are. So I think this week, I did have one. I can't actually remember what it was. Oh, North Sydney over as well. That was the big one I was going to go with this week. So a couple of back-to-back overs for me. Again, I don't think...
I'm actually going to go from the same game. And I'm going to go with our mate, 20-2, Justin McInerney, to get 20-2. 20 possessions and 2 goals.
J-Mac, 2020. 20-2. There you go. He's...
2-20, either other.
Had a couple of nice moments the other day. But yeah, North Sydney over... I don't think North's defence is that great. Sydney will go hammer and tongs. I still think North can go with them, though, so that'll be pretty fun. Right.
Be interesting, especially under the dome.
Yeah. All right, there you go. I'll press the button.
Hell yeah.
Press the right button this week. That's good. But that is
nice.
it.
You didn't get it wrong once.
The round 8 wrap, all done. The round 9 preview show of Footy Unfilterated in the bag. This is a really fun round of footy. Freo Hawthorn to start off the week is really good. So this should be a cracker, I reckon.
I'm excited.
Gonna make sure.
What game are you going to watch Friday, Jim?
Not the Carlton game because that'll be over at halftime. So.
That's shame. Anyway. Sorry, had to ask.
Anyway, go follow us on all the socials everywhere, etc. I'll try to get some clips up.
Hit
this
us
week.
with your nars, please.
Yeah, send through.
Don't make me beg.
Yeah, nars, just hit us up in the DMs. Just go nuts. Any questions you got, smash them in the comments on YouTube as well. Make sure you've subscribed on your podcast app of choice. And, make sure you're checking out on the YouTube and subscribe to that. Put on your notifications as well. Also, go get around NBA Australia. Jim does Supercoach and NFL Australia as well. I think that's all the shows. That sounds right. But, yeah. Any plugs there, Jez? See you at the gig on Saturday?
Hopefully, yes. I'm planning on being there. But, just get on the socials. Comment. Get involved.
Yeah.
If you want to hear, we want to hear from you because we talk a lot about footy and we want to know if you agree with us or you disagree with us. And we don't care if you disagree with us. We just want to hear from you. Yep. So all opinions are right and valid here, Jim.
I like it. All right. There you go.
No slurs. Just
take it on
slurs are bad.
Take it easy on the slurs, you idiots. Jesus.
Yeah. Just be kind.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go see Frank Turner on Friday. His 2018 record, Be More Kind. That was a big lockdown record for me, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoyed that. And so I'm going to go see him and the Sleeping Souls as well with Bowling for Soup. You might remember them from the hit single.
I haven't heard
1985.
That name for a long time. Yes.
They're great. So it's going to be fun.
Bowling for Soup. Wow. Blast from the past.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
That'll be cool.
So we'll catch you next week. Until then, stay off the rubbish gear. This is Footy Unfilterated. We'll catch you next time. With all the